In hip-hop, loyalty ain't just a word, it's the code you live by. But what happens when that code breaks? For Lil Durk, betrayal came wrapped in a wire from a so-called brother in his own OTF crew, someone he had treated like family.
Bro, he said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
In this video, we're digging into the backstabbing that could cost Durk everything. Stay tuned because this story is wilder than you can imagine. Lil Durk's Snitch. In the world of hip-hop, loyalty and betrayal often walk a fine line. And for Lil Durk, that line just blurred in the worst way. If you've been following the headlines, you know it's been a brutal few days for Lil Durk. Right now, Durk's in Broward County Jail, locked up without bond, facing a mountain of charges. And the real twist? It's all due to an alleged betrayal by someone he considered family. Leaked court documents reveal that authorities had an informant on the inside. This informant, known as OTF Jam, allegedly wore a wire for years, feeding evidence directly to the feds. Reports indicate that after serving a 12-year sentence for attempted murder, Jam was released in 2022. But instead of laying low, he reportedly turned around and provided details that linked Durk to a chilling murder-for-hire scheme. For a lot of people, Jam snitching feels like the ultimate betrayal because of how close he was with Durk. We're not talking about some random informant. Jam was a major part of Only the Family, or OTF. Now, if you're not familiar with OTF, let me break it down for you. OTF, or Only the Family, is a Chicago hip-hop crew that Lil Durk put together back in 2010. It all started as a tight group of friends who came up in Chicago's intense drill music scene, where loyalty means everything. Durk's idea with OTF was to create a family-first crew where people had each other's backs, sharing the same music dreams and life struggles. Over time, OTF built a serious reputation not only through their music, but also because some of its members are connected to the Black Disciples, a prominent Chicago street gang with a long history dating back to the 1960s. Known for its influence on the streets and within Chicago's drill music culture, the Black Disciples are recognized as one of the city's most powerful gangs. This connection added another layer to OTF's image, emphasizing loyalty, unity, and street credibility. OTF initially collaborated with French Montana's Coke Boys label, leading them to be referred to as OTF Coke Boys early on. Over time, they split from the Coke Boys and became independent, later gaining distribution deals with major labels like Interscope and Alamo Records. Members of OTF, such as the late King Von, Buka 600, and Duty Low, alongside Lil Durk, have helped OTF establish a substantial influence within the drill and trap music genres. Each member's loyalty to the family concept has been emphasized through shared album projects such as Family Over Everything and Loyal Bros, which are co-branded to reflect the familial bond that defines OTF's identity. The OTF brand extends beyond music, incorporating a clothing line and symbol that plays into their street reputation. The logo, with letters closely knit around a central T, signifies a sense of guardianship that Lil Durk, as the father figure, holds over his crew. Over the years, OTF's influence has continued to grow, solidifying its role as both a musical collective and a symbol of resilience and loyalty within Chicago's hip-hop scene. As one of the most trusted members, Jam represented this family concept Durk built OTF around, but their bond ran even deeper than that. It was a real friendship. Just take a look at this live stream clip where you can see them hanging out, with Durk hyping Jam up and showing him genuine support.
Hey, tell
count as much.
Tell them what's going on, Jam.
Hey, you know what's so crazy though? Motherfuckers be sitting up there doing all this, sneak this and the internet games and all this. Up some money, do something.
Their bond went beyond words. During Jam's 12-year prison sentence for attempted murder, Durk stepped up, providing financial support and making sure Jam's needs were covered. This included covering legal fees, buying him a house and a car, and even gifting him over $50,000 in cash.
Bro, he said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
More than that. But so, can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even?
No, we ain't gotta get into all that, but bro made sure he made a way for me to be straight like.
Durk's actions proved the loyalty that OTF was built upon, making Jam's decision to cooperate with authorities a shocking breach of trust. Some even speculate that in the moments he was seen hanging out with Durk, he may have already been wearing a wire. And this betrayal didn't stop with Durk. Jam's cooperation allegedly brought down 5 other key members of OTF. These 5 were the first to fall: DeAndre Wilson, Kevin London Grant, Asa Houston Keith Jones, and David Lindsay, all arrested on October 23rd in Chicago. The charges include conspiracy to commit murder for hire, committing murder for hire involving a death, and use of a machine gun in a violent crime resulting in death. After their arrests, Durk tried to make a move to evade authorities. He booked flights from South Florida to Dubai and Switzerland, and even arranged a private jet to Italy. But authorities were already one step ahead, intercepting him in Miami before he could escape. Following his capture, Lil Durk was officially charged with conspiracy to use interstate facilities in a murder-for-hire plot, resulting in death. Prosecutors allege Durk, alongside several key OTF members, took things to the next level, coordinating a plan using 2 vehicles to track, stalk, and attempt to murder rival rapper Quando Rondo in a 2022 shooting. While Rondo was reportedly the intended target, the bullets missed him and hit his 24-year-old cousin, Saviaya Robinson, known on the streets as Lil Pab. Investigators allege that OTF members took part in these violent acts, including murder and assault, all reportedly directed by Durk to solidify their crew's standing in the game. Here's the story prosecutors are laying out. It was August 18, 2022, when Durk's inner circle allegedly caught wind that Quando Rondo was in town, staying at a Los Angeles hotel. Word on the street was enough to set things in motion. That same day, 5 key OTF associates, DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, Asa Houston, and a 5th unnamed suspect, flew from Chicago to San Diego. From there, they drove up to Los Angeles, with all travel funded by none other than Lil Durk himself. To cover his tracks, Durk allegedly texted an associate arranging the flights with a warning: "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." Meanwhile, prosecutors claim there's video evidence showing Durk keeping a low profile at a spot in the San Fernando Valley during all of this, making sure he stayed off the radar. Once they landed in LA, the crew linked up with Kyon Grant, another high-ranking OTF member who flew in on a private jet. Grant, it seems, had everything ready and waiting. According to court records, he arranged hotel rooms, bought 4 ski masks, and got 2 luxury sedans, perfect for keeping a low profile but ready to make a statement. He didn't stop there. Grant allegedly handed over firearms, including one converted into a fully automatic machine gun, to Jones, Lindsay, and a 3rd unnamed associate. The very next day, OTF members allegedly set their sights on Rondo. They followed him and his cousin, Lil Pab, as they made stops around Los Angeles. First, it was a marijuana dispensary, then a West Hollywood clothing store, and finally a gas station across from the Beverly Center. Rondo's crew was rolling in a black Cadillac Escalade, but the OTF members were right on their heels in a BMW. Surveillance images, which later appeared in court indictments, reportedly show Grant's rented BMW tailing Rondo's Cadillac at each stop. When they reached the gas station, the setup was almost complete. Houston allegedly parked his car behind the station, giving Jones, Lindsay, and the unnamed accomplice a perfect vantage point for the ambush. They moved fast, jumping out of the car, guns drawn, and opened fire. The shots rang out, hitting Lil Pab, who was standing outside the Escalade. Rondo, however, was untouched, escaping what prosecutors claim was a planned execution. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada, leading the case, didn't hold back. He called the whole thing cold-blooded. In his words, it's one thing to go after a rival, but pulling a stunt like this in public where bystanders could have easily been caught up in the crossfire, that's a whole different level of recklessness. For those not deep into hip-hop, it might seem like Durk targeting Rondo is random, but for those who know, this goes beyond rivalry. To Durk, this is about justice. Why Lil Durk wanted Quando dead. Prosecutors argue that the motive for targeting Quando Rondo goes back to the devastating loss of Chicago OTF rapper King Von in late 2020. They claim Von's death wasn't just another tragic incident, it was a turning point that put Rondo squarely in Durk's sights. For those who aren't familiar, King Von was a rising star in Chicago's drill rap scene, known for his raw storytelling and bold persona. He and Lil Durk were as close as brothers. Their connection came from shared roots. Lil Durk grew up in the Englewood neighborhood on Chicago's South Side, a place known for high crime rates and gang activity. Englewood has long faced tough odds, poverty, limited job opportunities, and a lack of resources.
How was it growing up in Chicago like?
But it's just different because once you step off that porch, you a man by yourself. Like, no matter what age you is, like, it's the same struggle, the same story that everybody got.
Violent crime there is off the charts, way above Chicago's average, with shootings, robberies, and assaults happening regularly. King Von, on the other hand, grew up in Parkway Gardens, better known as O Block, another of Chicago's most dangerous areas. Like Durk, Von's life was marked by violence and adversity, experiences that shaped his music and character. Their friendship was built on these shared struggles, grounded in mutual respect and a deep recognition of each other's resilience and talent. Already established in Chicago's rap scene, Durk saw the potential in Von and took him under his wing, guiding him as he rose in the music industry. Their bond went far beyond music. It was rooted in loyalty and survival. In a world where trust was rare, they had each other's backs. Durk often referred to Von as his twin, a nickname that cemented the brotherhood that would forever shape their lives and careers.
Cause he got a whole story behind him. You know what I'm saying? He from O Block.
Okay.
know what I'm saying? That should speak for itself. Nah. But, know what I'm saying? He just real. Know what I'm saying? His music, he just a real nigga. Just, I fuck with him. Know what I'm saying? It's my brother, twin.
But that brotherhood came crashing down one fateful night in late 2020 when King Von lost his life and Quando Rondo found himself caught in the middle of it all. That night, Von and his entourage, including his manager and about 20 others, hit up Opium nightclub, where Von was set to make an appearance to promote his new project. By midnight, they rolled up to the club, ready for a good time. For a few hours, they kicked back, with fans capturing clips of Von enjoying himself and posting them online. Around 2 a.m., just a couple hours before the tragic events that followed, Von and his crew left the club. According to his manager, everyone figured they were heading back to their Airbnb to call it a night. But somewhere along the way, Von's car got separated from the rest of the crew. It didn't sit right. This wasn't like Von to just dip without letting anyone know.
Because normally, if we got an after party or we got anything we're going to, we know as a team. Everybody know to be on point. You know what I'm saying? We're traveling with a real deal gangster, a real stepper. So everybody gonna know how to move. But from that night, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's God timing. I don't know what it was, but Von completely went on his own course.
Von's crew started blowing up his phone, trying to figure out where he disappeared to. After a few missed calls, they finally learned that Von had switched up plans and headed across town to an after-hours spot, Monaco Hookah Lounge. A little before 3 a.m., Von pulled up to the lounge, but decided to sit tight in his car while waiting for the rest of his entourage to catch up. Not long after, Von's crew arrived, and they got ready to roll into the lounge. Just as they were about to step in, one of Von's friends alerted him that Quando Rondo was in a car just a few feet away. Now, it's unclear if Von knew Rondo would be there or if it was just a wild coincidence. Either way, Von didn't hesitate. He jumped out of his car, locked eyes on Rondo, and made his way over, not worrying about whether he was alone or if backup was nearby. Within seconds, Von and Quando were face to face. Von didn't waste a moment. He threw the first punch, and just like that, a brawl erupted as people from both crews jumped in. What Von didn't know was that Rondo's team was parked right beside them in a white car, watching and ready to react. A gunshot rang out from just a few feet away, catching Von off guard as he took a hit to his side. The shooter stepped out from behind the white car, gun in hand, and fired multiple shots. Von was hit 3 or 4 times, while his manager also got caught in the crossfire, taking a bullet to the leg. After Von's death, Durk allegedly set his sights on Quando. To many, Durk sees Rondo as the one responsible for Von's death, and Rondo didn't help the situation. Less than 2 weeks after the tragedy, Quando Rondo dropped a track titled End of Story, where he essentially justified what happened, claiming it was self-defense. Lines like, "Blood on your brother on the ground, gon' pick your mans up," struck a nerve with Von's circle and Durk. Rondo made it clear he felt no remorse, and this wasn't just a song, it was a statement. From that point on, Quando allegedly became a marked man, with fans even urging Durk to slide for Von. The pressure from fans was so intense that interviewers started asking Quando how he felt about the constant calls for retaliation.
What are you talking about? By the slide for Von comments. I don't know if people still say it.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more.
While Durk played it cool in public, rumors were already circulating that he'd made attempts on Rondo's life. Industry talk even suggested a bounty on Rondo's head, sparking fear and widespread speculation. And according to court documents, it turns out that was no rumor. OTF Jam informed investigators that after Von's death, Durk allegedly used coded language to offer a bounty for anyone willing to take out Quando Rondo. Then came another incident. On May 3rd, 2021, Quando Rondo and his entourage were ambushed in a shooting outside a convenience store in Blackshear, Georgia. Around 3:20 a.m., just after Rondo's performance at the Vibe Event Center in Waycross, the crew was parked in the lot when gunfire broke out, allegedly from across the highway. It was a quick stop. They hadn't been there long when shots were fired. Quando wasn't physically harmed, but one of his crew took a bullet to the hand and needed treatment at a nearby hospital. By the time police arrived, Quando had already left the scene. Although police didn't identify the shooters, many speculated that Durk was involved. Shortly after, alleged DMs surfaced between Durk and Rondo, where Rondo supposedly reached out to clear the air. Rondo quickly went on Instagram to shut down the rumors, claiming the screenshots were fake. Don't believe no internet shit. I ain't DMing nobody. All of these incidents coming back up right now are only making things worse for Lil Durk. With OTF Jam allegedly working hand in hand with the feds, it's not looking good for him. And to make matters even messier, this isn't Durk's first run-in with the law. Lil Durk's past legal issues. Durk's legal troubles date back over a decade, with his early encounters with law enforcement starting well before his rise to fame. Growing up on Chicago's South Side, he faced charges ranging from weapons possession to theft and even attempted murder. His first known brush with the law came in 2009 when he was arrested in Illinois for criminal trespass to a vehicle, a Class A misdemeanor. While this initial charge was dismissed by the courts with leave to reinstate, meaning it could be refiled if needed, it marked the beginning of a lengthy legal record. Just a month later, he was back in court for alleged alleged trespassing and a breach of bail conditions, setting a pattern of frequent legal battles as he navigated life in Chicago's challenging neighborhoods. By October 2011, things escalated. He got pulled over for drinking, and officers found a gun in his possession. That arrest landed him in jail for 3 months. After posting bond, he got locked up again not long after, and this time, he had to cut off his dreads while getting processed, an image that definitely left an impression. Fast forward to June 5th, 2013, a day that marked another major turn in Durk's life. This one went down in Englewood, his old stomping grounds that shaped a lot of his music. Cops were patrolling the area when they spotted Durk's car and decided to roll up on him. They probably thought it'd be just another routine stop, but they had no clue this was about to throw Durk right back into legal trouble. As the cops got closer, Durk tried to make a quick move, tossing a .40 caliber handgun into the car to keep it out of sight, but his plan didn't go unnoticed, and the cops immediately caught on. With his record already stacked, this wasn't a small thing. The discovery of that gun turned a routine stop into a big deal, leading to another arrest that only added to his long list of charges. The legal hit was serious. Durk was slapped with a $100,000 bond, showing just how big the charges were. He was supposed to be out by June 19th, but that date came and went with him still locked up, adding even more tension and speculation about what this meant for his future. At the time, Durk was right on the edge of stardom, and people were already wondering if he could pull through this. When he finally got released on July 18th, Durk wasted no time letting everyone know he was back. He jumped on Twitter, announcing his "Freedom loud and clear. I'm back, bitch. Yeah, I'm back, bitch. Did you miss me or you ain't care, bitch? I'm free." In November 2014, Lil Durk found himself facing serious heat with the law once again. Early on the morning of November 5th, Chicago gang officers showed up at a house he was visiting as part of a homicide investigation. When they stepped inside, they reportedly found Durk standing by the kitchen island, and right there in plain view were 2 loaded guns, a Glock .45 with 11 rounds and a Springfield .45 packing 13. Durk claimed he kept the guns for his own protection, saying he'd been getting threats on his life. But since he was already a convicted felon, the cops weren't hearing it. They slapped him with a charge for unlawful use of a weapon by a felon, a serious hit given his record. Durk's lawyer argued the guns weren't technically his, but the case sparked a whole new legal battle that kept the rapper in the headlines. But his troubles didn't end there. By 2019, Durk was facing even more serious allegations tied to a shooting incident in Atlanta. It all went down one night when Durk and his close friend, King Von, decided to pull up to the Varsity, a famous drive-in spot in Midtown Atlanta, just to hang out. That night in the same crowd was Alexander Witherspoon, a 23-year-old from Chicago's East Side with known ties to the Vice Lords. Known for his skills in card cracking and scamming, Witherspoon had a rep that spoke for itself, especially in Chicago's street circles. According to prosecutors, Durk and King Von allegedly ran into Witherspoon outside the restaurant, and things escalated fast. The confrontation got so heated that shots were fired, leaving Witherspoon wounded. He managed to stumble across the road, collapsing right in front of the One Cigar Lounge. Fortunately, some quick-thinking bystanders called 911, and he was rushed to the hospital. Witherspoon was rushed to Atlanta Medical Center in serious condition, needing surgery, but eventually pulling through. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Police Department wasted no time kicking off an investigation into the shooting. As they pieced things together, Lil Durk and King Von quickly rose to the top of the suspect list. Then came the big break in the case. On May 4th, 2019, Chicago police tackled and arrested King Von in connection with the Varsity shooting. Less than a month later, on May 29th, the Atlanta police issued a warrant for Lil Durk's arrest. They hit him with 5 felony charges, including attempted murder. On the same day that news of the arrest warrant dropped, Durk dropped a track called "Turn Myself In," lacing it with dark lyrics that seemed to reference his legal troubles. But Durk wasn't just talking through the music. The next day, he sat down with WSB-TV at his lawyer's office, taking control of the narrative. In that interview, he said he planned to surrender to the authorities that very day, making it clear he had nothing to hide and no reason to run.
You're about to surrender as we speak.
Yeah.
How come?
Because I have nothing to hide. Like, I have nothing to run from.
Did you do it? Did you shoot this man? Did you commit the other crimes of which you're accused?
No.
Later that day, Durk turned himself in at the Fulton County Jail. By October 2022, though, he finally caught a lucky break. Every charge got dropped due to lack of evidence. Durk's legal team had held their ground from the start, claiming he might have been at the scene, but he had nothing to do with the shooting. But the luck that saved him back then isn't as easy to find this time. With Durk still locked up, everyone's watching what happens next, especially with OTF Jam mixed up in the drama. And we all know snitches don't usually get happy endings. This story, it's far from over. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.